Have you ever had a recipe where you just needed a little something to push it over the top? That's what we're going to be doing today, a brown gravy from the 18th century. Thanks for joining us today. Now this is a recipe for a gravy. There are different kinds of gravy that show up in the recipe books in the 18th century. Sometimes gravy just means the juices that come out of a piece of meat while it's being cooked, and then you'll use that later on. And then other times you have a made-up gravy, maybe that doesn't have the juices of a particular piece of meat in it. That's what we're going to be working on here. This is a made gravy. This recipe is from the 1787 recipe book called The London Art of Cookery by John Farley. Let me give you a quick run over this one. Brown gravy. Take a half a pint of water and the same quantity of ale or small beer that is not bitter. Cut an onion and a little piece of lemon peel small. Take 3 cloves, a blade of mace, some whole pepper, a spoonful of mushroom pickle, the same quantity of ketchup and an anchovy. Put a piece of butter the size of a hen's egg into a saucepan, and when it is melted, shake in a little flour, let it be a little brown. Then by degrees stir in the above ingredients and let it boil a quarter of an hour, then strain it. There you go, a brown gravy. It's a gravy that we can make without using the juices of a piece of meat. We're going to start off, we've got our little saucepan here. We're going to start off with our butter. We've got a nice little bit of butter there, and we're going to get this melted. Our butter is all melted. Let's put in a little bit of flour here. Just shake in a little bit. We don't need this to be a lot, but it wants it to brown up. So what we're making here is a simple primitive roux. It's not what they would have called it in the English cookbooks, but a little bit of flour, a little bit of butter. That's looking pretty good. We don't want it too thick. It's browned up just a touch. Now we can put in our onions. There we are. And I've got my little bit of lemon peel. There we go. We don't want to burn these up. A little bit of sizzle, obviously, might happen while we're adding these things. As soon as our onions start to look a little cooked here, a little starting to be transparent, we're going to add in our other ingredients. We've got our ale or our non-bitter beer. Stir that up a little bit. And we also have mushroom ketchup. I don't have any mushroom pickle, but I've got mushroom ketchup, and it called for ketchup, so we're going to add that. And we're going to add a little bit of water here, maybe not as much as they called for it, because our pot isn't too big. And now we can also add in our other spice ingredients. So I've got a couple whole peppercorns. We've got a couple of whole cloves. We've got our whole blade of mace. And then our final ingredient here, we've got our anchovy, and that will melt in there. And now it says to just boil this up for about a quarter of an hour, and then we'll strain this all off. And we'll see how it thickens up. That's the real question as to exactly what this is going to be like. But now we're just going to let this simmer along. This smells tremendous for a gravy. I'm really interested to see. Let me test this out all by itself, and wow, it's got a lot of different complex flavors in it, and of course the mushroom ketchup in there really stands out. I can't wait to try this. Let's try this out on the duck. The gravy on the duck. Let's find out just how this turns out. Now the duck is good all by itself. And if you're interested in that, make sure to check out that episode. But let's try that out with the gravy here. Whoa. Boy, that gravy is really good. It really sets off a meat, and this combination is really, really good. So one of the interesting things about this is that anchovy in there. You would expect maybe some bad anchovy flavor to come through. The anchovy comes through, but not in a bad way. It's blended with these other flavors, so it really tones it down, but it's got a nice little peak to it. This is a really good gravy to bring something up that might seem a little too dull. So wonderful flavors and just that little bit of bite to it, which I really enjoy. Make sure to try this gravy. It is delicious. If you're looking for another episode that's similar, Michael Dragoo and I did an episode with mushrooms in cream. Make sure to check this one out.